career of person, correct, can go in the area of Lean Six Sigma or business excellence, if you think of shifting that career, and what has gone through me, and what all things I learned, and what are the important things we need to know, right? That's important. So so for me, if somebody wakes up me and asks me anything in Lean and Six Sigma or business excellence or any solutions or anything, I will be able to tell now, because it was the experience of last 15 years in this area, other than my original experience. So it was it is privileged to be here with you guys, and I'm happy that able to share some of my thoughts and experience. Just to give you a feel of whom I'm, and actually I'm, okay. If you see, I do this 3 Ps as a more of my core principles, so that it motivates me to learn more and more and apply. Okay. So I'm more of a guy of an execution, more of a guy with high energy and passion, and more of a person where I just don't want to learn for learning, but if I pay 1 penny to learn, I try to make it 10x. Okay? Sort of apply it and get that practical experience ahead of many people. So that drove me at 2005. Okay, so in 2005 was my career change from petrochemical to Lean and Six Sigma. If you can see from the bottommost, that's exactly what I was doing the journey in the terms of excellence ahead of many people. Okay, so that's what I would say, because I sensed in 2005 that Lean and Six Sigma will be very famous in India in coming 20 years. Okay, today I'm sensing that data science and analytics is going to be ruling for next 20 years. Okay, many call it a digital transformation. I call it as data science and analytics. Okay, so if you see from 2005, it was a completely shift in the career from chemical engineer to the business excellence side. So I have to learn a lot of new things. I have to let go a lot of hard ones, which I learned, my core knowledge of subject knowledge of chemical engineering. Let go. Ratnakumari, can you switch on the sound of entry coming up and also make it more of silent?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll disable the video.
Yes, somebody has to admit it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So it's important to see from the learning angle. If you're a project manager in program management or aspiring to become a senior leader in the organization, learning the concept of Lean Six Sigma or learning the concept of business excellence is mandatory. Okay, so because it also gives you a lot of tools and techniques to manage the projects, okay, smartly. So, but important point is, unless you are not going into the golden standards of learning and applying, it doesn't have a value. I saw in the chat box, many people got trained, but they couldn't get certified, but many people got trained, but they didn't apply. And there is a perception that somebody will offer you in the plate the project to do, correct? Lean and Six Sigma, you can apply it in your day-to-day life as well, okay? I'll come to that point. So nobody will offer you in the plate that come and apply what you learned because we want you to grow. Nobody will do that, okay? It is you search for the application and you practice yourself in the office of what you learned with the right data. Maybe nobody is interested to see that, but you'll be happy to apply it and see. Okay? It happened to me in 2005. I completely came from a petrochemical 15 years experience and then moved on to a space where I didn't know anything, but I know that it has a more relation with my analytics knowledge, and went on to become a black belt in 2005. In 2006, I actually, based on my experience, I just took the master black belt certification as well. But that time I was not a master black belt, but I was having 4 black belts with me. So I intended to move to master black belt as a global deployment leader. I took that certification, took the knowledge. Then I slowly upgraded myself to on the field of Lean and Six Sigma. And every year I ensure that either I participate in competitions, getting national awards, or actually I get accredited for the work I've done. Okay, and then I apply and see whether people are recognizing me. And also I closely monitor the gaps of what should take me to closer to CEO and COO. I started increasing my business acumen, as well as the companies where I worked with many companies which I worked. They started recognizing me for growing me in various leadership programs as well. So everything was my learning part. Then I started my journey as a coach. There also I went into the um, credential coach, which is important because unless you don't learn the golden standards, you cannot know principally what is all about. Right? So I went and did that ICF PCC, which I claim as the first pharma professional, working professional to do that. And I also got recognized by India Achievers Forum. I recently got recognized in the national level, uh, complete pharma sector as a #1 award for the manufacturing operation excellence. And recently, I'm actually doing a mastery course in applied ISP, applied analytics. So it actually, my intuition takes me through to do something which is relevant but important. Along with that is something motivating me, is that there is a connection to make the job interesting for me, correct? And be more confident that we are valuable. So that's the bottom line statement I want to say to all of you. Try to see always you are valuable, okay, from the other's angle, not only from your boss, but from your company superiors, top management, by the competitors who are looking you. They should see you as a valuable, and maybe all the people around you should see you valuable. Okay? That's important thing. I just want to set it up, and if somebody has to start the journey of business excellence today, it will hardly not take so much 15 years. Now you can do it in 5 years, 6 years. I mentor a lot of people for career shift and career growth. So you can always keep in touch with me in this regard for helping it out and going forward. Okay. So before I start, I normally start with this quote where maybe I just I just want to pause here. I want all of you to read this and come out of the mic and talk about what does this mean to you. Okay? I would like to have some of you explaining me what does this phrase mean. Trying to explain you. You can raise your hands, or you can go ahead, unmute, and just express what does this mean to you. I have been always learning great lessons from one principle, and it appears to me that all the secret of the success is there. What is that? To pay attention to the means as to the end. Anyone? What does it mean?
Paying attention to details.
Okay. Which detail?
Way of doing work.
Okay. Way of doing work, paying attention to the details. But there is something very important. If you have to connect, pay attention to the means as to the end. So
the purpose.
Purpose, okay.
The final value or benefit.
Okay. Narendran says, how you do it matters as much as what you do. Okay. It is bigger than the line of what Swami Vivekananda told, but okay. So what generally people will try is to take a route to get to the result, correct? In the office or in any way, they just focus on the outcome, okay, and try to see how we can go faster to that. And in that way, many times you achieve that, and then you find it very happy, okay? And maybe you will try to take shortcut, or you will try to influence through others, or you will try to use your own stuff, but you will achieve it and you forget it, correct? And then next task you also try to achieve it as a new one, correct? But if you're listening to MS Dhoni, whenever he is playing or coming in the end and talking in the mic, he will always say, we'll just focus on the process, okay? And everything falls out, okay? He always says that. You just work on the, even if you lose also, he says, we'll work on the process. So the means here is, if every activity what you are doing, if you are seeing it as a very important activity, And if you focus on achieving it with high quality, and if you know that process activities are linked to each other, and you know that this is one step by step, if I do this, I will get outcome, then you only focus on the activity. This is absolutely a version of a project management. Correct? The project management is completely work breakdown structure, right? And activities. The activities actually forms the milestones, and the milestone actually forms the project management, and the projects many activities mixed together actually with various projects forms the programs. So every activity what you do, and if you know that process activities which will lead from start to end, just focus on each activity, which is a means, automatically end is. Okay. So it's something inspired me for two things, because Six Sigma is all about that. Okay? Six Sigma is a zero defect in what you do, and it's all about that. And also it says that result is an outcome, right? Whereas the way in which you do the activities systematically becomes the habit. So I also experienced that many times I have done a lot of good work in the office, but I have not recorded it as a niche area, and I have not actually branded it or marketed it. Correct? You people also would have done the same thing, correct? You would have done a lot of work, good work, but when some new work comes, you actually forget the ones you did very well, but you take the new work as a new work and start doing fresh. I think that's something, no, we are wasting our IP in that, intellectual property, because whatever work you are doing, whether it has succeeded or it has failed, that actually is a great learning for us. So we need to record those things of how we succeeded and what made us to succeed and what led us to fail is the important reflections we need to have. And you won't believe, in coaching we say that as a natural way you are made up of. So if you know that you are able to do certain things naturally, please don't waste time in thinking on it. Okay? Try to learn new things. Okay, that's the message I'll give it to all of you. So that's something I learned, that if certain things comes to you, certain things you are not failed, any job given to you, you do it beautifully. That means you got that knowledge already in your brain. Okay? Don't try to wait for that. Try to learn something new and go beyond that. Okay? So that's something I just want to tell you. The other one which I want to just bring into the context of why business excellence, which why we need business excellence. Okay, I have seen many companies doing well also. Suddenly it talks about business excellence, and when you go inside and check, it says that the customer told the chairman, "Do you have a business excellence department, or do you run business excellence programs? Do you upgrade the skills of the people, or do you see the waste in the system?" So customer triggers the business excellence, correct? But if you go and see the some of the top 100 companies in the world, correct? So there is a publications comes for Forbes top 100 or some of the world class companies top 100. There is always a survey published every year. Only few companies stay for longer time. Okay, you could see that only few companies stay for longer time, for last 10 years or something. Whoever was number one, let's say 10 years back, he would have gone below 150. So one of the research says that the world-class company is something, it's not, you cannot achieve it for consistent of many years if you are not actually building the cultural change in the organization to sustain. Okay, so keep that in framework. But most of the companies, what are the primary drivers? Okay, so competitive pressures, profitability, globalizations, correct? Investors demand, even customer demand, okay? Board audit demand, correct? So this was the percentages of survey which gave us. And if you come back to the profitability, bottom line focus, which are the ones people are trying to push you to improve first, okay? Suppose, okay, you're going to do business excellence, just focus on raw material cost, okay, or supplier cost reduction, IT optimization. So this is the right side is more of talking about, okay, you are not good in delivery, please focus on business process improvement, okay, and supplier cost reductions. So this is a survey which was done with a lot of board of directors and this one. So I hope this resonates with your company's focus also, correct? They won't change much, but some people follow competitors and try to do that, and some people follow benchmarking and try to improve, and some people actually build their own cultural systems to build on for next 10 years or 15 years. Okay? So Tata Group is an example where though I don't think so they are having a competitor benchmarking. They actually have their own benchmarking, correct? And they build their own systems, beliefs and values. Okay? So think like that. Okay? So think like that and then see the ones which resonates with you for the why business excellence. So many of your companies may not have a term business excellence, but they will be talking about these languages of, oh, we need to reduce the cost, we need to improve the processes like that. So it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. So I just try to just hide this panel. Okay. So what is business excellence, correct? So if you see business excellence, I'm going to actually try to explain you more in a layman language, but try to understand that excellence in business. Okay? You have to see in the reverse way. It is not a very smart people going to tell you what you need to do. Okay? So another way. That's what I learned after 15 years, that if I think that I know better than others and I'm going to sit nearer to CEO, and then I'm going to educate people how to execute or work, that is not business excellence. Okay. Business excellence is something everybody has excellence in their natural way of doing things, but only thing they are not able to do it because of various reasons. So the skill of bringing excellence in everybody, in people, to execute a job which is planned in the strategy and then bring best out of the people, best out of the function, is the business excellence. We'll cover that slowly. But if you have to see the definition of business excellence, many companies do strategies, but they don't execute properly, correct? And many people execute properly, they don't do strategies, correct? These are the two important variety of companies mostly available, but there are very few companies who actually set the strategy, execute the strategy, correct? So we are now talking about executing the strategy. So a business performance management system, I would say business excellence is a management system that drives the business performance improvement. What does business performance improvement will look like for a layman? So it means that if you are going to work in that company, which is business excellence program running company, you will see things are moving faster. That is effective. Whatever they commit the date, it happens. And they are also growing with high profitability, which means efficiencies, correct? So bottom line is also coming. So internally they are efficient, and in service they are very effective, okay, while handling client. Just keep that in mind, and applying best practices and processes and tools through which organization attains long-term sustained competitive success. So that's the beauty about this, and they engage all employees. I missed out that, but important is they engage all employees by creating and balancing value for all stakeholders, okay, overall, including employees. So I'm not going to read that, but I just want to restate saying that business excellence is not a strategy. Business excellence is useful for executing a strategy. So that's where we become more valuable if you have that skill of successful and profitable execution. So it's very important is profitable execution. Right? So many companies does the strategy, but only few company executes. And if you all see the companies which brings business excellence, they will be able to improve the execution strategy to achieve their goal. So this, I'm just trying to bring my language into business excellence. Okay, so if I have to tell what is business excellence in 1 minute, okay, it is not a department which will run the business excellence program and maybe telling part, okay, and they actually hold the image that they are only driving the change. No, for me, the bringing excellence in people, business processes and assets across organization is the job of business excellence team. Okay? So suppose if you want to become business excellence, you may think that, oh, if I do black belt, master black belt, okay, I'll get paid more and I'll be treated very well in the organization. Yes, that for a few years you'll be treated. After that, no, if they don't see, if you're doing the routine job of training and projects, no, they won't be happy with you. So they will request you for a cultural transformation. Right? So unless you don't give your knowledge to others and you don't become redundant, that's not a business excellence. Right? So business excellence is all about you becoming redundant, others knowing exactly the business excellence way of doing things. It's an integrated collection of proven practices. So unless you don't set that cultural movement into the company and how a business should operate to become best it can possibly be the world class. So this world class term is misused by many people. Okay, so the world class companies have a consistency with people, processes, assets, technology, and performance. Okay, let's be very clear what is world class. World class is not becoming world class one next day. It's sort of a long years, 10 years program. Okay, but what is beauty about is they incrementally improve their metrics and performances year on year, along with the maturity of the culture in which the people actually start believing and working in the principles. Okay, so far so good. Anybody have any questions at this point of time about business excellence, or anybody wants to share their company's business excellence program or something? Maybe a few words. Anyone wants to share? Okay, I'll move on, but any hands rising, Ratnakumari, you can stop me so that we'll hear it out. So I think people can raise their hands and express yourself or ask questions, okay, then and there, or we'll also have a Q&A session in detail. We saw what is excellence. So we saw what is business excellence. We saw what is business excellence in simple terms. Let's also see what is excellence. Correct? Excellence is the sum of effectiveness and efficiencies. Effectiveness is basically more of a speed. Okay, and if you're able to meet your standards every day, what you're expected from doing the right thing. Okay? So that's called doing the right thing. Okay? And what will lead to? It will lead to be consistent. It will lead to the speed, and it will also make customer very happy. Example, delivery. Okay? So if you commit something, you do it and you get it, okay? And you deliver it. So the customer is very happy, and you planned it very well, and you set a standard and you make the standard every time. Okay? So doing the right thing, which is already you are expected to do and you are doing it. Okay? And also challenging it, improving it, it comes along with that. That's fine. So what is efficiency? Efficiency is you are trying to give more output with less input. Okay, there is more with less. Okay? Here it is doing the things right, which means that you cannot do a rework, no defect. Okay? So if you do a rework, you are wasting money, wasting time. Something is happening, correct? So your efficiency is depending on how you set your process to deliver things right first time, as well as how your people are skilled to deliver it right first time, and how you are optimizing the process to give better cost. So efficiency is all about doing more with less, and also first time right. First time right is, many people think it's impossible, but many companies do it nowadays first time right using robotics as well. So there are certain processes where error happens, but there are some processes where error cannot be tolerated. For example, if a pilot is taking the flight, he has to be right first time. Right? So there he cannot have a defect at all. So think that angle, high quality. So excellence in general, it means the customer expectations profitably. Okay? And that word profitably is important. It's not just going and meeting customers, but also trying to understand the company should also get benefited, correct? That's very important. So it's not only towards customers service, but also ensuring that you also do profits. So if you see the left side Aristotle quote, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So I totally agree with that, because I believe that excellence is not owned by the excellence department. So this is something myth. I removed it for a long time. I don't claim that I am the guy, I know excellence. No. Even the sweeper in the office, or peon in the office, or secretary in the office, or canteen guy in the office, even CEO in the office or CEO in the office, everybody can fall into a excellence category in their way of working. So I've admired a lot of people in the shop floor who have done a lot of good work without any flaw, right? And a sincere security guy takes care of the security job so beautifully that he follows the process and he gives innovative ideas. Thereby, we are able to be very safe. Right? So the excellence is all about what you do, and it's not an act like one-time job, like a project. It's a habit where it should come naturally to you, like values and beliefs, and also it should be consistent in terms of a behavior. Okay, so this is something you won't find these definitions in Google and all. It's all just written by me as a part of knowledge program. Okay, so which is my Bhagavad Gita for business excellence, correct? So there are many people, many researchers done, many models have come. They're all very successful, and in US, Japan, and there is a Toyota production systems, which I have not brought it here, but the Toyota production system more of a manufacturing. But when we talk about business excellence, okay, business excellence is an organizational transformation, right? And the organizational transformation can be done only by following with what we say is that a framework, okay, which is global standards, and some of the frameworks which have global standards, which has been there for last 30 years, is Malcolm Baldrige Quality Award, a National Quality Award. It's very famous, and if you see the replica of that is the IMC RBNQA, which is the Indian version of it. The other one which is famous is European Forum Quality Management, EFQM, and the replica of that in Indian version is a CIXM. Okay, and the recent one which we are very famous is Shingo. So Shingo is more of a lean thing. So, and then we'll try to see how it's. And there one more one which is very famous for TPM exercises is a Deming Award. Okay? And Deming is more of a famous of person named Deming. Okay? So if you see from this, let's try to see what does this bring to the table. Okay? So when you see from the Malcolm Baldrige Award or EFQM Award, it takes a lot of time to understand the framework. Okay, so the people have to be trained on this, and each component of let's say it has 6 important elements into that framework. Okay, and if you see the bottom, everything is bounded by core values and concepts. But if you see from the left side, leadership. So how companies leadership is processes are set. Okay? How companies leadership is actually driving the strategy, and how they are deploying the strategy, and how they are set the organization, how they are managing it, what is the governance. This all comes in leadership. There is a strategy component which talks about 135. Okay? So short-term, long-term, and middle-term strategies, but also talks about how you actually set the strategies with both internal and external information, correct? And then it talks about how you actually gather information on customers and market intelligences, and also what are the processes you kept for satisfying the customer. It's all process related, and then this is left side is the more of a strategy, and right side is actually the execution. Okay, the right side they are talking about how you are structured your workforce, and what are the processes you are bounded with the workforce, whereby it has got all the micro elements of starting from training, right, and then getting into the people part of it, and then getting into the engagement part of it, and reward recognition part of it. And then operations is more of your complete operations of execution, starting from supply chain to the logistics. In between you have R&Ds or manufacturing, or if you are a service company, the operations will be completely relevant to service, the IT operation. And then the results are the one which is nothing but your annual report, okay? Annual report or the P&L or the balance sheet of the company. Along with some of the cultural factors also comes in results. Okay, how is the employee engagement? How is the attrition happening? How is how is maybe some of the client related satisfaction scores, it also picks up that. If you see in the circumferences, some of the comments which is given is whoever has followed this, they got benefited. That's what they're saying. Okay. The manufacturer says that he got a cost reduction by after following the Malcolm Baldrige. Okay. Some people say that my profit grew. Okay. Hospitals say that they had benchmark on patients. So it's more of a US benchmarking, but Malcolm Baldrige, I don't think so many companies in India follow. Okay. So India, maybe they take the principles, but they don't follow from this model. But this is one of the fantastic model who taught us how to do business excellence. And you see in the one which bounds both the left side and the right side is a measurement analysis and knowledge management, which is a common thing for both sides. Okay? And do you have a very robust measurement system? And do you also have a analysis and knowledge management? Correct. So that's what we are talking. Coming to the EFQM model. Okay, so EFQM model. This is all revised models, but I've taken the latest one. This also gives the same essence of Malcolm Baldrige, but this is slightly a very European focused model. Starts with direction, which is more of a vision mission, same as the leadership there. And then here it talks about organizational culture and leadership, which is more or less same. Okay? But I like EFQM because EFQM is more picking up more of a practical things in terms of measurement and try to relate it with improvement. Okay? And first important measure for them is the direction. How is the leadership strategy is aligned with the vision and mission of the company, and how that actually gets the execution. The direction comes from the leadership. And you have an execution framework where we see engaging stakeholders, correct? Creating sustainable value and driving performance and transformation. So execution, if you see as a program manager and project manager, you fall into execution, correct? But projects where it comes from the direction. Correct? So you have all the relativity of your role also into this. And then the results are actually going to be based on the execution, and results will be of stakeholders' perceptions as well as strategic and operational performance. Correct? Whatever goals you are taken, whether you achieved it or not. And these are all bounded with one important, if you see the outer layer, it's a continuous improvement. So it means that you are going to approach, deploy, assess, and refinement. You're going to do it continuously. It means that this is a dynamic state. Even in Malcolm Baldrige, there's an arrow mark. Maybe if you've seen it, it actually comes back. Okay, it's a feedback loop is always there. Here also, if you see one by one getting connected, one by one going here and there, you see the arrow marks, which says that everything is going to feed everything, and it's a dynamic situation. And the center one is the organizational culture. So we have the business excellence. If you talk about business excellence or operational excellence, don't think it's a project-based approach. It's culture-based approach. Okay, so yeah, I know you people knows about it's a Lean Six Sigma and all, but I have come far away from that. Okay? So I normally don't take those jargons. It's all problem-solving culture. But what does Lean Six Sigma will give? We'll look into those slides. But for me, it's more of equipping the people and the processes to be defect-free. Right? So that's important. You may not be able to see this clearly, but you can go and Google it. There is a free handbook available. It will give you. Shingo is one of the famous model, but it's not going to be easy to deploy because they are very clear that the foundation is cultural enablers. Okay? And until you don't treat people respectfully, or you don't lead with humility, you are not going to be a leader. Okay? The next one is continuous process improvement. So the very important point in the center is the business processes. But the continuous process improvement is the key focus on the lean part, which we are talking about. So it's more of a lean where it depends on the industry which can implement Shingo. Some industry would go for EFQM or Malcolm Baldrige. And then you have an enterprise alignment, which is more of a where you just see that it's taking the more of a strategy and consistency of purpose and think systematically. It's more like an enterprise again goes as a vision mission statement and then alignment and then and the strategy sort of standardization. Okay. And also they are talking about standardized daily management, which is important for us to know, which I'll be covering up because engaging all employees is very important. And Shingo does that by talking about standardized daily management. And that's why it's famous. Okay. And the results are exactly basically creating value to customers. So it's focuses on customer and how it does results is measuring all the key variables and then analyzing any variances using cause and effect and then try to align all the what do you call as business performances with the processes. Okay, so Shingo is one of the thing. If you didn't know, this is one of the thing you can actually try to understand by googling it. They give you a very beautiful handbook to go through all the elements which is shown here. Okay. It has a long way to get matured. It gives you beautiful. So if you have to see why we need this business excellence model, correct? So that's the question which comes to all of us, correct? Why we need this? Can we live without this? Answer is yes. Okay, if your chairman or if your top management is continuously updating what's happening in the world, you may not need business excellence model. Your strategy itself can take you to the next level. But what does business excellence model give value is they actually give value to the organization. It's not top 20% people thinking and other people doing, correct? This makes everybody to think, everybody to do. Okay? And this actually adds value to customer, manage processes, succeeding through people, very important word, nurturing creativity and innovation. You are going to engage all the people and take responsibility of sustainable future, leading with vision and core values and achieve results. So think of the statement we made with Mr. Vivekananda's statement, focus on the means as towards to the ends, correct? So this is more of focus on the means the people who are in the company. Okay? To improve the organization performance, to facilitate sharing of best practices. So only by business excellence models, you will be able to communicate to employees very fast across the organization because everybody will know exactly what needed for them to do. And it's also a very good tool for improving the performance to guide organizational planning and opportunities for learning. So that is what business excellence can help you out. So the other part which comes business excellence, you all think business excellence is all Lean and Six Sigma. No, that is what the myth is. Okay. Any company which wants to become world class, they choose a business excellence journey. Right? And the journey of business excellence is not the y-axis alone. Okay, the journey of business excellence is on practices also. Okay? What is practices? Okay, you have heard about 5 years, Kaizens, or some of problem-solving tools, quality tools, or QC tools, or many practices are there, which is important to be set it up. There are engineering practices. There are what you call as process practices, or there are some I would say hygiene practices, correct? Or maybe some workplace practices and some problem solving practices, correct? And some basic tools also. So the practices, if I had to make it simple, the practices or the habits which we need to inculcate with the people, aligned to their SOPs, aligned to the work, to make them succeed every day. So the practices or something, it's a skill development done to the employees, ensure that they grow and they do the job efficiently. If you have high practices and if you have low performance, it means that you are wasting the opportunity of being potential, right? That is, you can do a lot of orders to get more revenue. So performance is more revenue and more profits. Okay. Practices is the skill factor. The higher the practices, the higher is the reliability in the system or the skill of the people, okay, to do it systematically. If you have low practices and if you have low performance, it means the company is not doing good. It's a weak company. If you have low practices and more performance, it won't sustain. This is where many companies are operating. They don't worry about employees. They just push hard to give a strategy, push employees to do that job, and every year they show profit. But when two top management leaves the company falls out. Okay? So it's people dependent. And when come to the fourth quadrant, the right side, when you have high practices and when you have high performance, or maybe high practices and performance together, you'll see it's very sustainable company, the world-class company. Okay? And it can compete with anybody. Okay? It is very flexible. It's very dynamic. Going to this place is not going to be easy. It takes minimum 3 to 4 years, hard experience, hard focus, and sort of strategies needed to deploy it as well as maintain it. We will see some of the techniques which can take you through that. Okay. So I will explain to you what are the global world-class business excellence is all about. But this is one of the example where it's a practical one. We did it in one of the pharma companies. So you can also create a business excellence model for yourself, okay, which means that you don't need to take it from Balkan Bard or something. You create your own framework, get the buy-in from the board of directors and top management, and then you roll it out for the company, and it remains with the company as the company's framework, unique framework for the company, for the sector, for the relevance. Okay, so we created this where you see at the circumferences, it's more a strategic, I would say, objectives, and in the center, it is more a cultural objective. Okay. So here we want to do a shop floor transformation with people. That's in the center, people care, process care, asset care for the pharma company. And whereas in the circumferences, it is more a strategic initiatives, objectives for transforming the company. The right side is the execution model of it. The execution model, we had a high impact, and we had I would say, a cultural transformation journey. So there's a group of high impact where it follows the Lean Six Sigma. We are sponsor, champion, black belt, master belt, green belt. It's internal, using internal capability. Whereas we went through the shop floor transformation, which is more a cultural transformation, which brings in basic philosophy of lean, TPM, other stuff, and then a lot of Kaizens and tools and all. So that is, we started with the external partner, then we took it up. So this is how you can think of your own company, where you start mapping which need to be done for your excellence, and make a document out of it, and try to bring the, if you see all these components, leadership capability, which means you're going to train people in Six Sigma or any other tools and techniques. Can-do culture is more of transforming shop floor. Process innovation is more of working on Lean and Six Sigma projects. Manufacturing capability is all about increasing the capacities, again, by using some techniques. Optimized supply chain is reducing cost, waste. Performance metric is something you set up a metrics management, which is not there in the company. And this is all Salesforce effectiveness. So you are covering all the departments in your journey. That's why it's business excellence. Okay? And then secure the organizational alignment. This is more of executing the strategy. You see the values coming in the circumferences, employee engagement, building skills and all. For every framework, you should have an execution model. The execution model actually is going to be the success for talking about the framework. So that is where people fail. Okay, they don't know what to do, how to do. Okay? They will try to do it as a sport. You know. The execution model should be such a way that it's not dependent on person, it's dependent on process. So I'm showing you one more example of how the portfolio will look like. Suppose you are an operation excellence guy, or you are a Lean Six Sigma black belt or master black belt. So how your portfolio will look like for business excellence sort of thing. If you're a small plant. So this is one of the things. I typed it in 10 minutes when I joined the company. So what are you going to do? That's what they asked. So I told I'm going to do this. Okay. I'm going to first build the capability of the people, and then I will work on key pain areas, strategic initiatives, and then I will train people in green belt, black belt to generate a lot of value. And also I will drive cultural excellence through SQDEC or whatever, SQD, PCM. And then I will try to manage all through a project management and the tracker. Okay. So this actually gives us a clarity of a specific focused continuous improvement plan. And I just did that in the second day of when I joined the company in 2018, October, November. And if I turn back and see today, it's all done. Okay. And I've now gone into 2.0 of improvement plan, including AI, ML, and data science. So you should also plan for having external consultants because they bring the speed in the implementation, and you should not be worried about seeing them as a competitor. You should bring them and then try to engage with the hybrid model. So that's a very important input I'm giving. Business excellence, normally you can outsource in terms of some portfolios, and that will benefit of that is you can run the portfolio parallelly, and also there is the performance wise, you will see an impact coming faster, and you will see the expert coming and doing it makes a lot of sense than you try to try to do a change management. So sometimes many employees prefer external people, certain knowledge transfer. So this is again a typical, I would say, a real case study where we have done all the work and we have traveled through this. So I'm sharing this because it's a public document where we won national award. But this is a document where you see almost we spent almost 10 years to get into what we were. Okay, and it's a journey where we built after McKinsey left, and we built our own system, and we actually challenged ourselves to do things, and then we could achieve for a big company. Okay, so this is the journey of a global MNC, Indian MNC, of a business excellence team sitting in corporate, but this is what we built actually over a period of time. The sell to whale is what we call. Unless you don't have a vision of doing for aligned with the vision of the company for business excellence, it's not going to work. There is no, I don't want everybody to think it's a Lean Six Sigma. No, it's not Lean Six Sigma. It's a transformation. It's organizational maturity we are talking. If you see in the right side, the key drivers, this is what I want all of you to think. Okay, if you want to do business excellence, it is not you doing the project and taking the credit, and if something is not good in the company, you leave it to the people to answer. You only matter about what you are doing, and you are trying to show that in a spot way. No, that's not a right operational excellence or business excellence. You need to develop people, okay, and you need to work where value can be created, and then you actually work on asset as well where we can increase the capacity. Then you engage the people, then you show the business performance, correct, and you create a cultural maturity, and then you see, then any strategy which comes every year, you float it through that platform of cultural maturity, it automatically gets, and then you continuously do ideation every year, so that you can see the areas in the left side which we could cover. Okay, now let's see how a business excellence alignment happens. Okay, where it happens, when it happens. Okay. It happens in every AOP process of annual operating plan, and there are 135 plans happens. But there is a policy deployment. We call it as a Hoshin country process, which means that show the direction of policy deployment. There's an X matrix which is very famous with Hoshin country. And what it says is, the balance scorecard, correct? So the balance scorecard exercise, when it happens, this Hoshin country is a process which actually makes the strategic plan very clearly with the inputs which from shareholder, employees, customer inputs, what best analysis. Then people make a real vision and mission statement, and then it transforms into a organizational goals and objectives, and then it runs into strategic objective. Organization vision, mission, goals, and then goals will become to strategic objective. The strategic objectives has three important category. One is strategy part, and is tactical, and is operational part. And there is a prioritization which happens, and then you have the clear-cut metrics for objectives, and then it gets into the actions from each process owners or the departments, and then you have a cycle of improvement happening every year, right? So that's why we call it as a plan to check act. It's a very famous, I would say, a goal deployment plan, strategic deployment tool. Hoshin country. It's also have a X matrix attached to it. Beautifully, it can map the thing. So what does it say? Okay, so how it has got a business excellence alignment. Okay, so if you see all this left side, is what it comes from the Hoshin country plan for the 135. So it's a strategic, tactical, and operational. But when it's go and see, it lands up in the business processes, correct? So the business processes is the one which you also remember the first slide I talked about. That is the one which touch base with the customers. So each of the business processes, starting from operational support processes, which could be legal or HR or those people. There's a people process, which is HR process. Support processes can be engineering or some other processes. There's a supply processes and there's a customer process. So the commercial, the supply chain, and it's HR. It's a safety and engineering, and then you have a operational, which is production. This also could be engineering as well. So if you see here, there's a lot of P. Okay? The P are nothing but the projects which gets basically we get it from that, okay? And then you get the disadvantage. So this P is one what you people may understand now, that these are the ones which becomes the programs or projects, right? Or this all these projects put together to become a portfolio. So, but here you have to understand these projects are not the functional routine projects. These projects are the business excellence projects directed by CEO to be a portfolio of projects in the business excellence framework. Whereas the owner and the project will be done by the individual functional sponsors and the champions and the project leaders. So that's something. So at the top is very important. See, business excellence should have a strong understanding of metrics. Okay, so I have talked about metrics management. If you are not on hold with metrics, then you are not going to improve. Okay, so if you cannot measure, you cannot improve, analyze or improve. So one of the things I can proudly say, what I upgraded my skills to become a better person during a conversation with the top management is a metrics approach. So anything you give me, qualitative statement, anything, I can convert into a metric and measure it for you. Suppose, for example, you want to measure something of a process, okay, which is not straightforward. Okay. Still, we can measure it qualitatively, but also have a metric around it. So, integrating the system of metrics with the executional projects, along with the lagging metrics of the strategy, is a key for our success. So that is the fundamental of, we call it as a Lean Six Sigma way. Okay, I'm pausing here. So I'm just keeping this slide, very important slide for all of you to see, because you are a program manager, project managers. You are today, somebody is giving you project you are doing. But tomorrow you can actually go and select a project. So that's what this slide is all about. So in many companies, there are a lot of problems, but there are only few people who are there to solve the problems, or who come and try to take the problem to solve. And those people are called as black belts or master black belts. It doesn't mean that who are not having those who are not solving. So there are some people who go and solve the problems. What they should do next is to become black belts and master black belts as a skill. Then it marries with them very well. So if you are a person who are doing a lot of problem solving by yourself without credentials of black belt and master black belt, please do that, so that it marries with your natural way of doing things, and it will give you high value in branding yourself. The other one, okay, there are a lot of projects which may be taken, right? So ideation can happen. There could be a lot of projects which can come for the business excellence when you do an ideation. How to manage that? Correct? And this is quite familiar for you people in the PMP or PGMP, correct? But this is also a very important component in business excellence. In fact, I later found that I automatically become project management because I was doing business excellence in a project mode. So for me, when I went and saw the PMP BOK book, most of the work I did was there. In fact, I personally see the people who certified PMP, they don't get into the quality aspects of projects. Okay, in my company, they don't see the quality improvement as their role. Okay, they're more of managed projects and maybe budget and all. But one of the chapter, if you go and see in the PMP, it's the quality. Okay, there is one chapter on quality, and they talk about control charts as well. So that's exactly what is Lean and Six Sigma. So people have to understand that you are also supposed to measure the defects while executing the projects. Maybe there's one column called risk management, which is nothing but the FMEA we are talking. You have to be proactively ensuring that you reduce the risk, but also ensure that you don't repeat the mistakes, and then you ensure the process are in control, correct? So with this particular slide is more of talking about once you get a lot of projects, what you do is you get the projects identified through various resources based on the previous year's experiences or the inputs, what we talked about from customer, supplier, everywhere. Okay. And then you qualify it, select it, and prioritize it. So prioritization is the tool very important for you. You would have quite familiar with cause and effect matrix or weighted what do you call it as weighted prioritization weightage matrix, correct? And you have that weightage versus scoring 931, whatever. And then you get into the assignment and closure. So the important is managing this project. Okay, so that's one of the important role we have. Okay, once you have a project, what you will do? Okay, so the project can be of different nature. Okay, one could be a new product development, one could be a continuous improvement, one could be a sort of innovation projects, correct? This is where Lean Sigma comes. Please understand, it's all executional tools. I still feel Lean Sigma is a tool, okay, but it is also a management subject, I would say, because it gives you a structured way of doing things. The DMAX stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve. It's used for existing processes. DFSS stands for Design for Six Sigma. It is used for new processes, which is not established. For example, you are developing a new product, you are launching first time. So you're going to actually use DFSS. In DFSS, you have 4 types of DFSS. Okay? And DMV, DV is design and verify. All the remain same, verify. This could be of something you're doing first time. In the other way, you need to optimize also, because you want to reduce the cost of the product. Then you have to optimize it and then you verify. There are something which talks about exploring, which is more a research oriented. Okay? You are trying to find out something new, which is not there. And IDOV is one thing, it's again a part of DFSS where you actually design and optimize. Okay? Identify design, so it's more of trying to be a first in kind in the research or in some kind of work where you are the first guy. So all this follows a very structured methodology, tools and techniques in each. Thereby you come to the logical conclusions, okay? And you convert it to statistical, and then logical problem to statistical problem to statistical solution to logical solution. Okay? What does this say? Okay, the systematic approach, what it gives is 2 important things. What I learned is that one, it gives the right information, facts and artifacts, you call it, and it's facts basically. The second one is you actually use the data, and data usage is very important because that actually gives you the support of evidence to basically argue and convince. That's the beauty about this. The third one is you actually bring the cross-functional team to work on this. So that's the beauty about Six Sigma, Lean and Six Sigma, because then the teamwork actually enhances because people feel that it's a very systematic way we are doing. So that's a very important point. And what are the various, if you're going to talk about business excellence, what capability you need to create in the organization? Okay, so you may have to recruit black belt and master black belt to start with. And this black belts will start all this white belt, yellow belt, and green belt internally. Okay, so that is how the organization is made. The white belt is more of an awareness program. Okay, so if you guys want white belt, I can actually provide. So, but white belt is a more of an awareness program. The yellow belt is it's more of a program for soft process improvements, day-to-day job. Green belt is something, it's a part-time job where you do a project along with your job, and they support it for black belt to collect data. Okay. So most of the black belt projects, you'll have green belts to be a part of team member because they know exactly what black belt wants. Black belt is supposed to be an expert with full-time job and leading an organization project with minimum, okay, I would say minimum of $40,000 savings or maybe $70,000 savings per year, okay, minimum. Master black belt has to at least drive 4 to 5 black belt projects, and you know what I'm talking about. So this is organogram is consistent across global companies. So one of the interesting point is the framework of organization structure, and the competencies with these people are going to be valuable year on year when you start doing projects. So that's the beauty about this. Okay. And when you start first time, you may not be compatible with black belt tools. You'll be afraid to even learn that. But once you learn slowly, one by one, your confidence will increase. You already have a domain experience, and you become black belt. It's your competitive edge over others are very, very high. It's a very good practice and habit to have as well. And it helps you a lot in your personal life as well. So how do you govern the business excellence? Okay, the business excellence is governed with the top management. Okay, and you have business excellence deployment team, you have business excellence deployment council, and you have executive steering committee. It's more like your routine program, but for business excellence, we should have these meetings because you may need some resources, you may need some changes in the organization, you may need some support and sponsorship, and you may need some capexes as well. So we need this, and you also need the clarity of deploying certain cultural changes, which company has to take a bold decisions, correct? And that's very important. And integrating initiatives through this is very important. And we don't want somebody to do separately something called excellence. So that happens in a company where everybody wants to show themselves that they are doing excellence, okay? And they may not have confidence with you because they'll think you will take credit. But how to nurture that, to make it that we are only giving tools and techniques, we are enablers, we are not the owners, and then enabling it in a structured way is going to be important. Even in business excellence, you have a governance which we need to create policies, processes, support. So basically, you need to establish this as a department, and you should have procedures around it, like ISO, and then you work around it. And there should be evidence of that you are following a process and procedures, and also you are accountable for driving the results along with the stakeholders. So this one is the one which many people miss in many companies. They think that they are closer to the top management. They just come and do whatever they want. But in the long term, it won't work. Okay, when you want to really grow in the organization. The other one which I want to bring, maybe for you as a project management also, it's very interesting, the stakeholders. Right? The stakeholders, if they don't accept you for the change, what you are trying to bring, even though you are highly knowledgeable, highly expert, if you don't apply and bring results to the company, you are as equal to as a redundant guy in the company. Right? So this 4 quadrant is very important because if the interest of the stakeholder is high and the influence is low, keep them informed. If the interest of the stakeholder is very high and he is a very high influence guy, please manage him closely. And if the interest of the stakeholders is low, but his influence is high, keep him satisfied. But if both interest and influence is low, monitor him. Very useful quadrant, I thought. I just brought it for your notice, but you may be knowing, but this something people miss out. Okay, I'm telling you. And what happens is, then time passes, and then you don't get results at the last moment. People deny supporting you. So you have to prioritize the stakeholders, talk with them starting of the year, chalk out the plans, smartly put the goals in their goals, and then work with them. So here the forces oppose while business excellence culture. So the small correction oppose OPPOEC. So the important point of business excellence is the cultural change. It takes its own curve of maybe forming, storming, norming, and performing. Initially, people think it's additional burden, okay, and they start denying the thing. And after you set it up passionately and show some good results with few proof of concept, and then they will feel very hard to accept and work, and then they slowly change after they see results, okay, and recognition. This curve This is the time. So how fast you can come out of this is very important. So this is where the top management should help you. Okay? And they should position you very well. Otherwise, you'll be going here and there. But once this starts, accepts, you will see that this curve is improving. Okay? To get here, it's very hard work because you have to prove yourself and you have to get the what you call as the neutral view as a business excellence guy in the organization, and people should trust you, and that trust actually builds up faster along with the top management support. It's a tricky thing. Okay? Many people felt I took credit, but actually I didn't. But it took some time for me to establish. Okay, so that it was a long journey. It happens, and that's the learning in the corporate world. What happens is you can get savings without business excellence also. You can do a lot of things with the business. That's what people will tell you. "Hey, we don't need you. We can do ourselves. Why you are coming and unnecessarily giving me work?" But what it also says is the hidden, we call it as a hidden factory and hidden things, correct? Data analytics today famous because it brings out the insight from the deeper from the data. That's the beauty about going deeper, you will get insights, correct? But the same way, Six Sigma is also going deeper and solving the problems. And you don't talk superficial and you go and find the root cause, fix the problem, and then try to work on building the skills of the people, practices, and then deliver on time, all the metrics, and then you see the results. So it's a systematic approach. No, people think as a new one. Then after they carefully work with you, actually you are helping them to do their routine job better. That is what will evolve actually finally, and that exactly what is cultural transformation. So if people can integrate the tools of Lean and Six Sigma, Lean daily management, in the day-to-day work as a daily management, you actually succeed as a business excellence guy. Okay? If you're going to say, I'm going to train you, and you're going to do a project, and you are be reviewed by us periodically, and you are going to deliver me $20,000 or $30,000 for the project, and you are going to make them in front of top management, put them in the spot, they are going to see you as a villain after a period of time. Okay? And they are not going to participate, or they will spread a bad image about you. So don't exploit people in the name of business excellence. Try to transform people to become more skillful and try to make them more productive. Try to make them, I would say, get the skill forever, okay, which they can use it for the current company or they go to the other company. So I always feel developing people is my prime job. Organization benefit automatically comes. Okay. So there could be a lot of driving forces. So out of 10 top management people, 3 may be supporting you, 3 may be keeping mum neutral, they cannot find out, and maybe 4 may be resisting you. Okay. And that's the where you are going to work on using the driving force, how you can neutralize the restraining force. So that's how my journey started. So out of 100 people, even 10% of the people support you, you are lucky to drive the business. What do you focus in business excellence? Okay, it's a strategic project, but ultimately ends up in the profit and loss statement. Right? If you see the left side, it's all profit and loss statement, and the economic profit, ROCE, revenue, margins, which is materials, and productivity, labor productivity, capex, and customer satisfaction. This all will increase when we actually work on this. Correct? These are the metrics you need to measure in business excellence. Okay? Other than this, you can measure the satisfaction scores of client and employee. But these are the operational metrics which will be very useful for you to turn around any company. And this metrics is exactly what will be your projects, and that projects will be continuously improving this metrics. And that's the beauty about this. And there is direct relationship. You see this green color, it's a direct relationship. So these are all lagging metrics, these are all leading metrics, and focus on leading metrics. Sometimes yield is also maybe not leading metrics, but you can easily find out some component out of it. Very important slide in terms of drivers versus metrics. Okay, suppose you started the business excellence. Okay, you are a head of business excellence. Okay, how do you plan your department to grow? What you will offer to the company, right? As a business excellence guy, suppose if I join any company, what will be my roadmap to that company? Right? My roadmap to the company will be like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. This is what I will do for the company from my department. This will be my activities. Please understand. I'm talking about more of a business excellence department, which is working in the CEO office or CEO office. They need to do this thing. This is like sort of how they set it up. This is how they do. So it takes almost 4 to 5 years to reach level 4. And these steps are the important steps to do because we cannot rush in doing certain things to achieve. And that's a very important challenge I had. When I go there, no, see, the top management is very impatient to get results, right? And they push me hard to do something shortcut. And they'll make me like look in front of all employees that I'm going to reduce the headcount. Okay, so that is completely conflicting with my work of engagement. So I will convince them. I will try to tell them that I have come here to do a cultural change, not reduce the manpower or something which is conflicting with my departmental core belief. Right? I will increase the capacity and retain the people rather than remove the people and then pass on the wrong message. So if you see here, you may not initially for 9 months, you may not get, if you see here, you may not get a support. Slowly you will get a support and you have to do slowly the things to make the people understand the concept, and then it's not making others experts, correct? It's making others to do efficiently their work. So many people confused with this. Okay? Oh, I have to make them expert. No. You have to only transfer the knowledge where they can apply the tool in the activity they do efficiently. So don't try to make everybody green belt, black belt. It's a waste of time. If they can understand that they can approach you to solve the problem, that itself is a success. So that's what I try to do. If you can even make a people to think about you when they have a problem, then you succeeded as a business excellence guy. They should call you, Arvind, please come. I want to just help me how to approach this problem. That is how I will work. And if you are a project manager or program manager, if you are not set that thinking, oh, if I have a problem in execution, can I use a project manager to give me a clue or program management or tool how to do faster, parallel, or make series to parallel? If you are not made that connection with people to think about you, suppose something is getting delayed, they should think immediately about you to tell you, so that they know that you will get affected. If you can create that mechanism of people thinking about you when you set some standards, that actually becomes a very important component to drive a change. As far as my job is concerned, I've been doing this 15 years with more than 5-6 big companies like Jubilant, Piramal, Dr. Reddy's, Arvindo, and then now with Biocon Group. What I saw in common is, if you are a passionate guy, and you know subject very well, but you don't take credit, and you try to actually transfer the knowledge as much as possible for others' success, and you drive it with clarity, then people are with you. I would say 60 to 70% people are with you. Still the 30% will be giving a wrong image about you. That's fine. But what that 70% people do for you is, they actually groom you as a better black belt and master black belt for the future, because we have applied and seen the successes of what we learned theory, but the one which we get back from doing this is the one person can influence the organization. So I do that. I influence the whole organization myself, and my rollout process, I've done it globally in Piramal. I've done it here and everywhere I did it. There's no bigger team under me, but what all thoughts come in my mind, I roll it out, and it got rolled out smoothly. Okay? I learned certain things hard way, but it's all good work only. So it doesn't matter to learn it and change it. Plan, do, check, act. Okay. So when it comes to the organization, okay, so one is what you are going to do, clear roadmap, job description. next 5 years plan. Okay, you did something. CEO will come, "Hey, you have been doing something. What is benefit I got? What should I go and tell to customers? What change is happening in the company? What is that we can go and brand ourselves? And what is company getting benefited?" Okay. So there is a cultural change in the company you need to bring from dysfunctional level to the world-class level. Correct? This is what is all about. And I'm not going to read this, but this is how you move the system from less. You may have 100 points to measure. 20, 25 points, you're already world-class. At some points, you are not doing basic things. Correct? You push the system to do world-class. Correct? That's what we are trying.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you identify those low-hanging fruits just to show them some progress?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. So actually, this assessment sheet you are seeing, no, this you need to do as soon as you join the company. So one of the things you should do now when you join a new company, you should assess the company in depth first 1 month. Okay, you should talk to the people. You should talk to all the levels of the people, and you should also assess by your own framework. And you also should do some analytics from the P&L data or the key metrics data. That is how you come to it. Nobody will guide you. Got it, na? Everybody will be watching you as soon as you join the company, right? What you are going to do. So that's where you fall. You should measure the system and then prioritize and see which is the one coming low hanging fruits. And the low hanging fruits, that definition can vary from people to people, but the important point is not identifying low hanging fruits. I normally fix it and tell the management that I completed it. There's a difference, correct? You found the low hanging fruits, you're talking about it. So what I normally do is, if low hanging fruit is there, I go and fix it and then talk, and then try to just give a status about it. Does that answers your question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
So people don't talk about low hanging fruits, fix it. That's what is my suggestion for all of you. So this is for there is a maturity model available for seeing the things. And if you go to the one of the important thing I am more passionate about is that engaging all employees. Okay, so I have created a model for a service company, but manufacturing company or a research company. It works everywhere. And many people challenge me, it won't work in research company. Today in my current research company, everybody is doing daily management. And I have set up the same model which I set in the pyramid manufacturing. But the important is the slight modifications needed, but people are doing daily management on the basic foundation practices on safety, quality, delivery, cost, compliance, and other things. Okay. Engaging all employees in the basic best practices, Japanese principles is very key, because that actually ensures the people, processes, and assets are taken care in that area. Okay. So what is this? Software transformation is nothing but engaging all people in the respective areas. So think of a country broken into states, and states broken into district, and district broken into town. So you see that micro town coming, correct, forms the state, forms the districts, and districts forms the state, and state forms the country. Think about that. Okay, same way. Think about a US map. You see states broken into pieces, correct? Same way. In every organization, you can break every organization into a zones of area and departments, and then you create a daily management board there, and you drive it, and you can engage all the people. So I'm expert in that, and I can train people, and they do for me. Okay? And you won't believe 3,000 people were engaged in Piramal. Now currently 1,500 people are doing for me. So it's like making each employee to work for you, themselves and for you. And whatever they do, small thing, you can be proud of. Okay? This is what is business excellence. So business excellence is top down, bottom up, which is important, bottom up. Okay, so the bottom up is very important, because then while executing the strategy, people understand the language, and it's like a river flowing freely. Okay? That's how the flow happens. So how do you form a team? Okay, do you form a bigger team, a smaller team? What happens? Very beautiful. I'll tell you the very important comparison of a normal organogram versus a Lean Six Sigma organogram. In Lean Six Sigma Agram, we have many people to start with, and slowly you reduce it because the maturity happens. You don't need people. You let go people or you transfer people to some other department. So you always work with the CEO, COO, and then you build division level or OU level, operating unit level, and you may have some skilled people. In my current company, I train people in the operations who are working. Functional people, I train them up to black belt level. I kept my department lean. After I became a coach, I understood that it is more of a coaching rather than showing that I am doing something for the company. Okay. I'm more a catalyst. Then if you see here, business excellence project and governance. So once you collect the project, you have a toll gate reviews. And this is where you play a role, and you have a situational leadership model also as a governance, because you slowly you will ensure that where you need to direct, telling, selling, correct, and delegating. Correct. And that's very important behavior you need to show. So whoever is new, you need to coach them very well, direct them, be with them hands on, and then certain people who knows. Who knows things, but they don't know, they're not competent enough, then you coach them. But some people who are down psychologically due to some not promotions are given, and so that time you go and support them. And some people who have learned from you, just allow them to grow, allow them to do, allow them to innovate, right? That is how you actually govern the whole system. So the very important thing as a leader that they need to feel that you are there to support, but not to that to take credit. Okay, that's the important thing. Similar to project management. Project and program management has a very thin line, correct? You have to say we only, correct? If you say I, you are gone, correct? Next time nobody will give you data, correct? That is what is beauty about consciousness on how you actually try to position yourself. So this is what I was talking about daily management. I still remember I made this slide 2008. I still have it with me. And the daily management is all about every day morning, people spend 15 to 20 minutes in front of a board where they that area metrics, which we have designed it, and they talk about it and they mark it red, green based on the goals. And they find the root cause analysis for the red, and then they improve, plan, and deliver continuously. And this happens. It's still happening in all the companies I've set, and it's working very well. Okay. And this lean daily management, we call it as very famous. And Japanese says that it should be done in the board only. Many people now say, oh, we have technology, we'll do it electronically. If you go electronically, it again falls short in the inauthentic data. Okay? People can manipulate the data. And whereas when you do it in the board with the hand, with the pen marking the trend, psychologically you will try to work and improve. Okay? That's the fundamental of business excellence. Only a few slides left. I think we are on dot. So there's a bench. So how do you sustain, correct? One of the important thing is, okay, we got some results, but how do you sustain it, correct? The sustenance comes from benchmarking. Okay? So there are 2-3 benchmarkings people suggest. Okay, one, you benchmark internally. Okay? There could be one function doing better than other function. Put that standards to other function. One, benchmarking within your sector. If you are a pharma, benchmark with other pharma, same company. Next external benchmarking is who is best in class. That takes another 10 years for you to reach. So that is a beautiful way of seeing things to sustain, so that you benchmark, and you go at the top. Okay? And this is how it is done. And this benchmarking can be done strategic, performance and process, and internal, competitive, external, functional, and general, until you reach superior. And this is how you go. Okay? Initially, you are not uninitiated, then start, then you reach the basic things of your goals, then see the industry reference, which is your industry reference, and then you go to the global reference. It will take another 20 years to do. Okay. How do you measure? So as a business excellence, no, you need to have a dashboard. Okay? So all the projects, you need to bring the dashboard. So you all know, familiar about it. I'm just showing a typical one. I picked it up, but you need to have a data-driven validation with finance. Finance will be a very important strategic partner along with the vice presidents or the unit heads. They need to be happy about the data, and you have a dashboard. That is one of your metrics tracker you will be having as a part of your whole kit. I have presented certain slides which chairman presents to the board. So that's how it is. They see authentic data. So this is an example of value creation you can do in business excellence. This is the live data. I have not removed anything. Started in FY 07, 08, 09, 010. I can continuously put it's a recurring savings. Huh? It's a new savings. So what is happening when the company expands, your saving expands because you have set a system of business excellence which will give you benefits, reap benefits. Right? Suppose you did a yield improvement project and your capacity increases, the value increase, the benefits increases. So that is a beauty about this project. But you also expand companies. Let's say you purchased new companies globally, acquired new companies, then you go and implement the system there, similar to what you did here, sharing the best practices. That gives you a lot of benefits. So I've done a lot of work on merger and acquisitions where we deployed the Lean and Six Sigma. It helped very high level.
Sir, when you, sorry to interrupt, when you measure the impact, is it that every time you compare with initial baseline or you compare with the latest baseline?
Very good question. So all the savings are having the baseline for that particular year. Okay, so I give an example from that you may relate it, correct? So let's say initially the yield was 40% or maybe 80%. Okay, yield. Then you improved yield to 90% in FY07. The 90% will be the baseline for FY08, and you improve that to 93%. And then 93% will be baseline for FY09, improved to 95%. That's it. Okay, and that is how it is. And the baseline, what we are talking here, is the baseline for that particular year's budget with the actual value achieved in the previous year.
Got it, sir. Got it.
No continuous improvement, right? And
I'm just wondering because initially you will have a lot of scope for improvement and show the savings, but in financial year 2010 you got more amount compared to the previous years. Was there a drastic change?
Yeah. So what is the change? I'll tell you. We acquired some 2 companies in US. Okay, and that gave the bigger opportunity, and that is what is that change. Got it?
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Here what you have to see is the increase in the numbers consistently every year. As you rightly told, the opportunity will get lost over the period of time. No. What happens is the innovation happens. People try to innovate better and better and see the better way of doing things efficiently. And we throw the targets to them for savings and they deliver it. And untapped areas we expanded. So in the 2010, no, we expanded more areas. Whereas here we are working more in the manufacturing. Then we expanded this to commercial as well and other functions and in the US company. That is how we got it. So
thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you all very much. This is my famous slide. Okay, see together, know together. So let's just know together, see together, and act together. Lead the people, manage the process. Don't do the other way around. Okay, and coming together is beginning. Keeping together is a progress. Working together is success, and it actually works like that. Okay. For anybody who's trained, needs certification, contact me. I'll guide you to get certified. I'll just give you the training materials through one of the good resources. I'll guide you for that so that you acquire that knowledge again and be competent with certification. If anybody wants to do a master black belt or maybe anything, I'm the only person in India do for the ASQ as a personal level. Okay, so maybe there is some ASQ India is doing, but they charge very high. But I'm one of the person I do ASQ master black belt level also as a mentoring in the weekends. Okay. Reach to me. I'm just keeping this for some time. You can take my mobile number. Anything regarding your career growth integrated with. I personally feel Lean and Six Sigma black belt with PMP is a huge value outside. I think PMP has started valuable after this Corona COVID time came. Project management became a very important demand in the whole world. Along with that, if you have if you're developing skills of business excellence tools, or I think it's the right area to move around. Okay, so the PMPs can come to this side, and some of the black belts can go that side. So it's a very good zone to move around and keep ourselves. With this, I thank you all for your patient listening. Okay, I know many people are shying to come in the videos, but I love all of you to come to the videos while we chat for some time. Any questions you have? Thank you for ProVentures, Mr. Srinivasan sir, Ratnakumari, Sandeep, Prashant, who helped me to put this across for you guys. Okay, sorry for boring you in case I did it for 1.5 hours, but I didn't prepare for this. I just made the slides for you guys. But unfortunately, I cannot share this, but I'm always there to be contacted, and anytime. I'm an international coach, so you can come down to me for your personal coaching and development as well to become a superhero in the future. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. So I'm not saying that it's boring. It's a huge learning, and let's share your contact, sir. Myself, Sanjay. So I am a student of ProVenture, and I will try to explore more and more. And what you talk about, that is immense learning coming out from you. So we can sense everything, and there are many things which are really going to benefit us in the any kind of organization. So what you taught us, that's really beneficial, and I will try to personally contact you, because like for lean and this master black belt, so this all kind of things. So we'll get help, sir.
I'll guide you to the right way, but I'm in the LinkedIn also. You can just search me, and please get connected. And one of the things I learned is network actually works with the right people.
Yeah, sir, that's great. Great, sir. I will connect you just after maybe by Monday. I will connect you. I will discuss. So what will be the suitable time, sir, to connect with you?
Weekends you can call me.
Okay, sir. So you share contact with the maybe the ProVenture team, and then I will take it.
And it is there in the chat and also in the slide which Sir showed last. Right?
Oh, okay.
All
thank
right,
you.
sir.
Thank you, Prashant, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you all for the participation, and thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. So if any questions, we'll take it up. Else there is a chat in the chat box, in a message in the chat box with a link for the feedback. Those of us who would like to get the PDUs, you may have to submit the feedback, and once that is processed, we will release the set PDU certificates.
Okay. I'm a change manager. If anybody, the PM of be having any issues, just bring it up. We'll have a chat.
Yeah, Arvindan, sir, I have one question. I'm working in a MNC. So may I just go in deep and understand how business excellence is getting applied, because these terms we are listening from many times, but I'm working in research and development. So which kind of people they are taking care of this business excellence? I haven't heard in this our department. So is the things are going internally or in background, or we are not aware, or any team dedicatedly are there in other organization? May I know that?
R&D company means which company R&D?
Sir, basically I'm working in Hero MotoCorp, that two-wheeler.
Certainly has a operational excellence team in the corporate.
Yeah.
You are not aware of them because they would not have come to take a project in R&D. They are trying to do a lot in the manufacturing. So if you can check with your manufacturing side, people will be there and they can come and train you as well.
Okay, that's right.
So, sir, I would also like to thank you for the lovely session. This is Anubhav Chabda. I'm working into the education domain.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go back to the notes. I've taken many notes that you have given to us today. So thank you for the session. And yes, in case if required, so I'll reach back to ProVenture to connect with you. So it's been very nice. It's a very nice session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Arvind.
Yeah, Imran.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. So this is Imran. Just I have one question. So right now I'm working as a project manager So just I want to understand how Six Sigma will directly help us, a project manager, to improve his learnings and his team building activities.
Very good question, Imran. So actually, no, Sigma is more of a process capability, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the fundamentals of Six Sigma, no, Six Sigma means it improves the process capability. Lean means it improves the process efficiencies. Okay. So I'll put both Lean and Six Sigma together, Imran. Okay. So when you see a project, no, project is nothing but a process of activities complete done for getting a execution, correct? If a set of activities which is being followed to get a, actually it is a set of activities for a process to be executed, correct? So if you see, time is a very important parameter in a project, correct or not? Cost, quality and time. If you go and see the quality project metrics, it will be three, correct? Cost, quality and time. And quality is coming, automatically Six Sigma will come. Since time is coming, automatically Lean will come. When I talked about efficiency and effectiveness. Okay? So if in case you want to do a project faster with high quality, the tools of Lean and Six Sigma will help you out to find the variations and find the root causes. So when one of the research I did, I'm doing it in my live in my company also, you all will be knowing most of the projects are delayed not because of major reasons. Okay? Most of the projects are delayed for a just do it reasons. For example, the project may be delayed because one person was not available on the day he went on leave. So that could be the reason coming out. So it's just do it. Okay. So collecting the data of all the delays of the project and analyzing it and finding the root cause is what Lean Six Sigma will teach. Okay. So today, most of the data are available with project managers, but I don't know whether they are using it or not. So that is where Imran becomes a very strong component of having a skills of solving the problems by and or suggesting a solution or working with a cross-functional team to get a solution is the Lean Six Sigma skills. And I have launched a product called Hervicta in Dr. Reddy's without flawless execution. And I didn't know about anything, but they put me as a project manager or program manager for it. But I executed it because of my Lean Six Sigma skills. And so you can flawless execution is one of the skills you will acquire along with solving the problem with cross-functional skills with the team. So people will love to work with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the wonderful session.
That's it. Anyone, anybody having any pain area, you can open up. I'll try to share my experience with how to manage stakeholder. I don't see project managers always have a peaceful life in the office, correct? Unless you are very close to top management.
Sir, that's a very powerful statement that you have given.
Both sides. Okay? I've seen the project managers taking credit when succeeded, giving debit when not succeeded. From the project manager side, I have seen the technical persons blaming project manager for any delays, right? Or any communication delays and other things. And support mechanism is one thing. I think project managers should be more proactive, correct? Are more proactive, more analytical. And these all skills you'll get from Lean Six Sigma. Unless you are not doing a risk assessment of which project can fail, that comes naturally when you are a Lean Six Sigma guy. And that is what is beauty about project management. And you won't believe it's all there in the chapter of your PMPB, okay? And the input process output diagrams, you go and see, everything will be there. So that input process output diagram itself is a Lean Six Sigma concept, process mapping. Okay, so there is a lot of things common in project management and Sigma because its process capability is what we are measuring.
Agreed, sir. Agreed.
Ratnakumari or Prashant, anything from your side from Pro Ventures? Maybe you are hearing this. I don't know. Previously, you would have heard this concept, but how do you see this for Pro Ventures? Actually, Prashant. Okay, So I think we are done. Anybody have any questions? We'll do. Otherwise, thank you all very much and have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You can log off now. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much. Bye-bye.
Sorry, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, Prashant. Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. I'm sorry, I just lost my.
No, I was just asking how was the session for Pro Ventures actually? How does it